Welcome to the Special Forces in World War II podcast, transmitting on this frequency. This broadcast is your dedicated channel for comprehensive intelligence regarding World War II Special Forces operations. Our transmissions encompass in-depth analysis of their strategic maneuvers, cutting-edge equipment, illustrious biographies, and an array of pertinent subjects. The orchestration of these transmissions is executed by the expert team of the Special Forces in World War II website, a squad deeply immersed in the historical theatre. For further insights, visual aids, and captured moments frozen in time, navigate to our virtual headquarters at worldwar2-soft.com. Your immersion into the front lines of knowledge awaits. Over and out. Welcome to a special two-part episode of the Special Forces in World War II podcast. In this first installment, we're setting the stage for one of the most audacious Axis operations of the war, Unternehmen Rösselsprung. We'll be delving into the meticulous preparations behind this ambitious airborne raid, aimed at capturing the Yugoslav partisan leader, Josip Broz Tito. This episode takes you through the meticulous planning and strategic build-up that set the scene for this high-stakes operation in the heart of the Balkans. We'll journey through the complex landscape of Yugoslavia during the war, where the Serbian nationalist Chetniks initially led the resistance, later to be overshadowed by Tito's communist partisans. With the Axis powers feeling the pressure from the growing strength of the partisans, bolstered by Italy's withdrawal from the war, a plan is set into motion. The objective: to capture or kill Tito and dismantle the partisan command and its allies. Intrigues of German intelligence, the Abwehr and the SD, and the deployment of elite units like the SS Fallschirmjäger Battalion 500 make for a gripping tale of warfare, strategy, and survival. Despite their meticulous planning and significant military might, the Germans are met with fierce resistance in the rugged terrains of Drvar. In Part 2, which will follow shortly, we'll unfold the dramatic events of the actual operation and analyze the results and repercussions of this bold military endeavor. So join us as we journey back to 1944, piecing together the detailed preparations that paved the way for Unternehmen Rösselsprung. Let's start with the introduction. Following a British-engineered coup against the Axis-aligned government in the Kingdom of Yugoslavia on the 27th of March 1941, Adolf Hitler orders the occupation of the country. On the 6th of April 1941, German, Italian, and Hungarian troops launch an attack, leading to the unconditional surrender of the Yugoslav army on the 17th of April 1941. The Axis occupation results in the fragmentation of Yugoslavia and the establishment of new state entities in the occupied territories. This includes the creation of the independent state of Croatia, the Nezavisna Država Hrvatska or NDH, a puppet state under German and Italian influence, and the occupation of Serbia by German forces, with Albania and Montenegro coming under Italian protection. This fragmentation heightens ethnic tensions and sets off a fierce partisan conflict. Initially, the resistance against the occupation is spearheaded by the nationalist Serbian Chetniks, under the leadership of Dragoljub Draza Mihailović. However, Following Germany's invasion of the Soviet Union on the 22nd of June 1941, the Communist Party of Yugoslavia, led by Josip Broz Tito, actively joins the resistance against the occupying forces. The ideological differences between these two primary resistance factions result in a complex landscape of shifting allegiances amidst a civil war. Maximilian von Weichs, the German commander in Southeast Europe, endeavors to suppress the Yugoslav partisans through various military operations. Yet, constrained by limited personnel resources, these efforts prove challenging. Army Group F, tasked with overseeing the occupied regions, comprises only a handful of German divisions. Most of the occupation troops include the Croatian Legion, units from the NDH state with German personnel, and divisions recruited locally that serve in the Waffen-SS. In 1942, the Waffen-SS begins mobilizing ethnic Germans for service, leading to the formation of the 7th SS Freiwilligen Gebirgsdivision, Prinz Eugen, primarily engaging in combat against the partisans. This is followed by the establishment of two more divisions, the 13th Waffengebirgsdivision der SS Handschar, Croatische Number 1, in 1943, and the 23rd Waffengrenadier Division der SS Kama, Croatische Number 2, in 1944, predominantly comprising of Yugoslav Muslims. All three Waffen-SS divisions are predominantly used in anti-partisan actions in Yugoslavia. Italy's exit from the war on the 8th of September 1943 presents the Yugoslav partisans with access to significant war material. They establish liberated zones, especially in Bosnia. Following Tito's partisans' successful resistance against severe Axis offensives from January to June 1943, and the growing evidence of collaboration with the Germans by the Chetniks under Dragoljub Draza Mihailovic, the Allies shift their support to Tito. This change in allegiance is cemented at the Tehran Conference from the 28th of November to the 1st of December 1943, where key Allied leaders, American President Franklin Roosevelt, British Prime Minister Winston Churchill, and Soviet Premier Joseph Stalin, officially recognized Tito and his partisans. The Allied forces respond to the situation by parachuting aid behind Axis lines to support the partisans, supporting Tito's headquarters with Allied military missions. As a result, the Yugoslav partisans, with an estimated strength of 100,000 to 150,000 soldiers, emerge as the principal opponents of the German occupation forces, recognized by the German command as a well-equipped and effectively led force. This makes their leader, Josip Broz Tito, a target. October 1943, March 1944. During this period, discussions commence regarding the potential deployment of the Brandenburg Division against the Yugoslav partisan leadership, specifically targeting Tito. The initial group, known as Verben Wildschutz of the Brandenburg Streif Corps, operates under the command of SS Obersturmbannführer Ernst Benesch. This group, functioning within Section 2 of the Abwehr, the Wehrmacht's intelligence service, includes members who had previously identified Tito in Jajce before the German offensive to recapture it. Verband Wildschutz, comprising ethnic Germans fluent in local languages, maintains contacts with both the Chetniks and the Ustasi militia and monitors Tito since October 1943. Lieutenant Kirchner, a member of this unit, plays a pivotal role in locating Tito before Jajce's recapture and sets up a patrol base near Bosansko Grahovo. Despite nearing the discovery of the Druvar cave and identifying the presence of Allied military missions, Kirchner fails to conclusively pinpoint the cave as Tito's headquarters, even though German radio intercepts confirm Druvar as the site. Kirchner is subsequently assigned to the SS Fallschirmjäger Bataillon 500. Meanwhile, the Front-Aufklärungstruppe, FAT 216, under the command of Lieutenant Zavadil and operating under Section Reben of the Abwehr, also participates in the search for Tito. Attached to the SS Fallschirmjäger Battalion, 500 FAT 216 contributes limited intelligence for planning the raid. Upon Adolf Hitler's orders, SS Jägerbataillon 502, commanded by SS Sturmbannführer Otto Skorzeny of the Sicherheitsdienst, SD, the SS's intelligence branch, engages in gathering intelligence for the raid. After a partisan deserter reveals the cave as Tito's headquarters, Skorzeny proposes a plan to infiltrate Drvar and assassinate Tito with a small force. However, when Skorzeny learns that the plan to eliminate Tito is compromised, he withdraws his unit. It appears that Skorzeny does not share the valuable intelligence he had gathers with SS Hauptsturmführer Kurt Ribke, commander of the SS Fallschirmjäger Bataillon 500, who is responsible for the airborne operations planning. Inter-service rivalry and competition prevent the three organizations from sharing intelligence, significantly impacting the tactical planning and execution of the operation. The Yugoslav partisans also demonstrated a high level of strategic acumen and intelligence-gathering capability during World War II. Their effective intelligence network played a crucial role in countering the threats posed by Axis forces, particularly in the context of Unternehmen Rösselsprung. The partisans are well informed about the presence of the elite SS Fallschirmjäger Battalion 500 in Yugoslavia. There is evidence to suggest that the partisans might have been aware of the isolation of the SS Fallschirmjäger Battalion 500 and the concentration of transport aircraft and gliders at Zagreb and Banja Luka, potentially over a month before the operation commenced. Such timely information would have been critical in planning countermeasures. For over 6 months, the partisans are aware of the general threat of an airborne assault. This foresight allows them to prepare and strategize accordingly, enhancing their defensive capabilities against such attacks. In a significant intelligence coup, the partisans managed to capture the deserter who had been interrogated by Otto Skorzeny, a key figure in the German operation. This capture likely provides valuable insights into German plans and intentions. Furthermore, this development leads to the subsequent decision by SS Sturmbannführer Otto Skorzeny to withdraw SS Jägerbataillon 502 from the operation. As mentioned earlier, Skorzeny suspects that the operation has been compromised due to this intelligence coup. As a response to these early indicators of an impending attack, Josip Broz Tito, alongside General Arso Jovanovic, Chief of the Supreme Staff and a key strategist and tactician of the NOV and POJ's decisive battles, decides to move headquarters from Drvar town to Drvar cave. Tito's main headquarters is strategically relocated to a different cave near the village of Bastasi, situated 7 kilometers west of Drvar. The operational part of the Supreme Staff includes General Ivo Rukavina, Chief of the Operational Department, and Colonel Vyacheslav Klisanic, Chief of the Intelligence Department. This tactic of switching locations demonstrates a cautious approach and an understanding of the importance of maintaining the element of surprise and security. Other departments, such as the Liaison Department, led by Veliko Dragicevic, Economic, Medical, Artillery, Technical, Cryptographic, and OZN, Department for People's Protection, stay within Drvar town. As an additional precaution, elements of the 6th Lika Proletarian Division are moved closer to Drvar. This redeployment of forces is likely aimed at reinforcing the area around Tito's location, ensuring a robust defensive perimeter in case of an attack. Overall, these aspects highlight the partisans' ability to effectively gather and utilize intelligence, adapt to changing circumstances, and take proactive measures to safeguard their leadership and operational integrity. Such capabilities were instrumental in their resilience and effectiveness as a resistance movement against Axis occupation in Yugoslavia. The security of the Supreme Staff and the Anglo-American and Soviet military missions is entrusted to the accompanying battalion of the Supreme Staff, led by Captain Milorad Jankovic and Political Commissar Captain Dragutin Bozovic, consisting of 400 soldiers and a cavalry squadron. The Engineering Brigade of the Supreme Staff, with 2 battalions, is deployed in Drvar, while 2 other battalions are stationed in Bosanski Petrovac and Potoci. In Drvar, the Central Committee of the Communist Party of Yugoslavia, CKKPJ, the Central Committee of the Communist Youth of Yugoslavia, CKSKOJ, the National Liberation Army Council, NKOJ, and several members of the Anti-Fascist Council of the National Liberation of Yugoslavia, AVNOJ, are located. The town also hosts the Higher Military Court, radiotelegraphic and cryptographic students, a hospital, a printing house, and the editorial offices of Nova Jugoslavia and Tanjug. Additionally, the Town Command, Drvar Area Command, the War Theatre Group Narodno Oslobodenje, and the Officer School of the Supreme Staff are based in Drvar. March 1944. German leadership successfully uses radio direction finding to locate the new position of the Supreme Staff in Drvar, seeing it as a prime opportunity to strike a significant blow to the Yugoslav partisans and their command structure. The 6th of May, 1944. The Army Oberkommando der Zweite Panzerarmee, under General Oberst Lothar Rendulich's command, receives instructions from the Oberbefehlshaber Südost, OB Südost, to prepare for encircling and destroying the concentrated Yugoslav partisan forces around Drvar. This includes the 15th Gebirgskorps, led by General der Infanterie Ernst von Leiser, the 5th SS Gebirgskorps, Panzerabteilung 202, the 4th Regiment Brandenburg, and the Grenadier Regiment 92, motorized from OB Südost's reserve forces. The 7th of May, 1944, the 1st Gebirgsdivision's Aufklärungsabteilung, part of the reserve of the Oberkommando der Wehrmacht and the SS Fallschirmjäger Bataillon 500, following a request from the Wehrmacht High Command, are added to the operation. The participating air forces come under the Fliegerführer Kroatien's command. The 13th of May, 1944. Oberbefehlshaber Südost receives the operation's guiding principles, outlining the plan to parachute the SS Fallschirmjäger Bataillon over Drvar. They are to collaborate with the Brandenburg Division units in full camouflage, aiming to eliminate the enemy command center. Simultaneously, an offensive against Drvar is launched with 5 motorized combat groups, each equivalent to a regiment's strength, to support the troops. The 19th of May, 1944. In preparation for their operation, the Luftwaffe intensifies aerial reconnaissance over Drvar, a development that does not escape Allied notice. Despite the Allies detecting German activities, the specific target of the operation remains unclear. In response to increased German air surveillance, the British and American military missions evacuate their headquarters from Drvar just days before the planned attack. The 15th Gebirgskorps, under General Ernst von Leiser's command with headquarters in Knin, meticulously prepares for the upcoming mission. Their detailed operational plan, after receiving minor adjustments, is approved. The plan involves deploying a force of approximately 20,000 personnel and includes the following strategies. On the morning of the attack day, X-Day, dive bombers are scheduled to strike enemy positions, command posts, and anti-aircraft installations. The SS Fallschirmjäger Bataillon 500, reinforced by 2 companies from the 1st Fallschirmjäger Regiment of the 1st Fallschirmjäger Division, will deploy with parachutes and gliders to land in Drvar. The aircraft and airborne troops aim to neutralize enemy command posts and critical positions in Drvar, with the operation's success crucial for the conflict's outcome along the Adriatic coast and the rear. Comprehensive planning, effective leadership, and total engagement of all soldiers are imperative. The 7th SS Freiwilligen Gebirgsdivision, Prinz Eugen, supported by the Grenadier Regiment 92, motorized, of the 2nd Panzer Army, is tasked with breaking through the enemy's eastern defenses of the Sana River and advancing northward between the Sana and Unak rivers. The Grenadier Regiment 92, motorized, along with a panzer company from the Panzerabteilung 202, will advance from Banja Luka to seize Key. The 2nd Regimental Group of the 7th SS Freiwilligen Gebirgsdivision Prinz Eugen will progress along the railway line from Jaicha to secure Mlinister, which houses vital infrastructure like a power station. The 105th SS Aufklärungsabteilung, bolstered by a tank company with 10 Italian M15/42 tanks, is tasked with defeating enemy forces on the Livanjsko Pole, capturing partisan warehouses, and launching an offensive through Bosansko Grahovo towards Drvar to block the retreat of partisan groups, headquarters, and Allied missions to the south. The 369th Aufklärungsabteilung of the 369th Infantry Division, Kroatisch, under the 105th SS Aufklärungsabteilung's command, will advance through Livno to Glamoko Polje to cut off the enemy's southeastern escape route. Defending Livno is deemed essential. The 373rd Infantry Division, Kroatisch, along with the William Battle Group, will commence an offensive from the SRB area towards Drvar, aiming to join forces with the SS Fallschirmjäger Bataillon 500. Their primary goal is the complete annihilation of all partisan and Allied mission command structures. Following Drvar's occupation, the offensive will proceed towards Bosanski Petrovac. The Lapak Battle Group will advance through Kulanvakov to Vatoche, controlling the Bihak-Vatoche road. On the day of the assault, the Grenadier Regiment 92, motorized, together with the 54th Gebirgs Aufklärungsabteilung of the 1st Gebirgs Division and the 2nd Jäger Battalion of the 118th Jäger Division of Bihak, will strike Bosanski Petrovac from the southeast. Their chief objective is the swift capture of warehouses and the airfield, with part of their forces moving towards Drvar to join the SS Fallschirmjäger Bataillon 500 and the William Battle Group, thus blocking the enemy's northern retreat. The 4th Regiment Brandenburg, with Chetniks under its command, advances from Knin towards Bosansko Grahovo to conduct sabotage operations along the Drvar-Prekaya line. Logistical aspects, including supply, communication, and other relevant factors, are coordinated to support the ongoing operations. The 15th Gebirgs Corps headquarters is in Bihak on X-Day. The Luftwaffe allocates 40 Junker 52 transport aircraft from 2nd Gruppe of Transport Geschwader, 4 and 34 gliders from Schleppgruppe 1 and 2 and 3 Luftlandegeschwader 1 for Fallschirmjäger transportation. The DFS 230B1 gliders are towed by 17 Henschel 126, 12 Junker 87, and 5 Avia B 534 aircraft. Ground support is provided by one group each from Jagdgeschwader 51 and Schlachtgeschwader 2. Due to limited transport aircraft and gliders, the reinforced battalion is divided into 3 groups. The first group, 314 men, will parachute into the operational area. The second group, 340 men, will land in gliders, and the remaining 220 men are scheduled for a second parachute wave. The glider group splits into 6 Kampfgruppen, with Kampfgruppe Panther, 110 men, tasked with capturing the Citadel objective, believed to be Tito's fortified cave headquarters. Kampfgruppengreifer, 40 men, Stürmer, 50 men, Brecher, 50 men, and Beißer, 20 men, target the Allied military missions, while Kampfgruppe Draufgänger, 70 men, aims for the radio station. The parachute group forms 3 Kampfgruppen: Blau, 100 men, Grün, 95 men, and Rot, 85 men, tasked with seizing the city and preventing breakout attempts, accompanied by the battalion staff of 34 men. The second wave, 220 men, is to follow as soon as possible. On the eve of X-Day, the combat groups of the 2 Gebirgskorps discreetly take up positions near Knin, Sarbi, and Bihać. The 21st of May, 1944. Adolf Hitler gives his approval to the plan, selecting the 25th of May, 1944, as X-Day, the designated date for the commencement of the operation. The Germans, having come across falsified documents suggesting that Tito's birthday falls on the 25th of May, decide to time their attack to coincide with this date. The SS Fallschirmjäger Bataillon, augmented by 2 companies from the 1st Fallschirmjäger Regiment of the 1st Fallschirmjäger Division, is placed in a state of strict isolation and readiness in Kraljevo. All unique unit insignias are removed, and the soldiers don standard infantry uniforms. To ensure accurate identification during the operation, each of the 875 men is provided with a photograph of Tito. The 23rd of May, 1944. A German Fiesler 156 reconnaissance aircraft is observed making several parallel runs up and down the Una Valley over Drvar, flying at an altitude of approximately 600 meters. This activity is indicative of aerial photography and reconnaissance efforts. The aircraft's specific attention to the villages of Prinovo and Turninic Brijeg, where the British military and American mission are located, does not go unnoticed. The acting commander of the British military mission, Lieutenant Colonel Vivian Street, witnessed this reconnaissance activity. He interprets it as preparatory work for an impending bombing raid. Alarmed by this development, Street takes proactive measures to address the potential threat. Understanding the implications of such reconnaissance, Street advises both Tito and the American military mission of his observations and concerns. Heeding this warning, both Allied missions make the decision to relocate their positions. This move was a direct response to the perceived threat, aiming to ensure the safety and security of the personnel involved. Through the Ultra program, which focuses on intercepting and decoding German signal traffic, the Allies gain awareness of a German operation codenamed Rösselsprung. Ultra, renowned for its pivotal role in deciphering the Enigma encrypted communications of the Axis powers, offers the Allies crucial insights into German military plans and operations. However, while the British are aware of the existence of Unternehmen Rösselsprung, the specific details of the operation remain unclear. The Ultra intercepts do not reveal the operation's location or its objectives. This lack of detailed information poses a challenge to the Allies, as it leaves them uncertain about where and how the Germans will execute this operation. The absence of precise information about Unternehmen Rösselsprung's targets and goals means that the Allies had to remain vigilant and prepare for various possibilities. This situation reflects the limitations and challenges of intelligence work during the war, where even successful code-breaking efforts like Ultra could provide incomplete information, leaving significant gaps in understanding the enemy's intentions. The 24th of May, 1944. Tito hosts a reception for members of the Anglo-American and Soviet military missions, suggesting they spend the night in the same building in the town. Tito himself spends the night at Devar Cave, staying in an improvised barrack near its entrance. On the eve of the airborne operation in the town, the members of the partisan units are shown newsreels, including the Battle of Stalingrad and the Crimean Offensive, serving both as entertainment and inspiration. With these events, the stage is set for Unternehmen Rösselsprung. As we conclude this first episode on the preparations of Unternehmen Rösselsprung, we've journeyed through the intricate planning and strategic maneuvers that set the stage for one of World War II's most daring operations. We've witnessed the high-level coordination, the intelligence gathering, and the complex logistics that defined the groundwork of this audacious airborne assault. But the story doesn't end here. Stay tuned for part 2 of our special episode, where we'll delve into the heart of the operation itself. We'll follow the paratroopers as they descend into the Balkans, uncover the intense battles that ensued, and explore the ultimate fate of this high-risk venture. We'll also examine the impact of Unternehmen Rösselsprung on the wider war efforts and the legacy it left behind. So join us next time as we continue to uncover the layers of history, bringing the dramatic events of this pivotal operation to life. The thrilling conclusion awaits in part 2 of Unternehmen Rösselsprung. And that concludes this mission briefing, fellow warriors of knowledge. We've navigated through the trenches of information, delving deep into the battlefields of history. As we wrap up this episode in our campaign for understanding, remember that knowledge is your most potent weapon. Stay vigilant and keep sharpening your intellectual arsenal. We'll rendezvous again for another episode, continuing our relentless pursuit of enlightenment. Until then, keep your mind sharp, your curiosity burning, and your determination unwavering. Simultaneously, you are hereby alerted to our outposts on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, fortifying our information dissemination. Should you possess any pertinent intelligence to bolster our mission, transmit your findings with no hesitation. Your contributions shall be prominently acknowledged within the operational archives. Furthermore, for those prepared to provide substantial reinforcement, navigate to our Patreon forward base and enlist. Your support is integral to sustaining our forward thrust. Carry forth the legacy. Dismissed.